like garbage because I got to turn this off.
Just put on like a full face mask.
All right, guys. I know most of you are going to be watching this after the live, and I'm not doing the live because I'm trying to go live tonight. I'm doing the live because I don't have a lot of time to put this together. This is just something fresh that happened today. We did the live last night, and first of all, before I'm rude, I'm going to go ahead and introduce James. This is James. These are brand new trainees in the second week now.
Third week, just about.
Third week almost. Okay. Yep. He's got over 10K miles under his belt. So James wanted to be in the live yesterday, but he was asleep. So, so he was knocked out.
Yeah. Every time you want to do a live, somehow I get the best sleep of the week.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, that's the like if Freight says we're gonna do a live, I know I will sleep amazing.
Yeah. It's like if it's shower day, shit goes wrong. If it's live day, I'm sleeping like a bear for 12 hours straight.
Oh my god. So, where are we at right now? Like, we're in between Denver and Pueblo.
I think we're like 100 miles southeast of Denver by now.
Yeah, exactly. Like so we actually did. What's up, Tim? Guys, this is not. I didn't do the live tonight because I just wanted to do another live. I did it because I've got something to like say. We got really kind of messed up today. It was really bad. So, and if you look at the thumbnail on the video, this is the real deal here. We're about to go ahead and lay it out. Guys, we dropped in Denver. You know, yesterday we did the live that we did, had the tarp problems, the tarp malfunctions. It was a nightmare, okay? We did get the load drop this morning flawlessly. Everything was great except for the tarps, of course, which got to cut my losses. I got to figure something out on that. I am going to try to see if Prime will reimburse for the tarps because we do have videos before and after. So I will keep you guys updated on that. But dropped the load and everything. We sat for over an hour. I did get it, Tim. I just haven't had a chance to. I saw the notification as soon as I got out of the shower, but I haven't actually had a chance to open my email yet. So dropped the load. We sat for over an hour. All right. Well, the load we were on, we picked up Thursday in Florida, and it went for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We dropped it in Denver. Okay. Here's the problem. This load did not pay well enough for a training truck, team truck, whatever you want to call it, to sit on for 5 days. So I knew that we were going to have to make up some revenue on the back end. Well, I'm very communicative as an operator. I will send messages constantly, say, hey, look, we're this far out. We're gonna be here at this time. We're gonna drop here. Hey, we've made contact with a 90, yada yada. We sat for over an hour. Okay, pulled off load selection, 2 loads. They weren't even close to what the truck needed for the week. So I reached out to my FM. He's trying to get us a load, a team load. They send over something, same thing. It's not even close to what we need. The problem with that is, guys, is if you are running your business, whether it's Prime, whether it's Landstar, whether it's anybody, you cannot control certain aspects of that business, okay? What you can control is what you put on that trailer, where you need to go, and what money you need for whatever you're doing for your business. So there's a lot of different reasons to deny loads, guys, okay? Now, I did send an email to the higher-ups. I sent an email to my FM, Jim Wilkins, which is head of Flatbed Integrity Division, and Brian Brown, which is head of sales. Nothing has come about yet. There has been no solutions to this problem. We are sitting in Denver again for the second time in a month, okay? Well, guess what? We are not sitting in Denver again for a second time in a month because I'm not sitting here. I am going east. We're getting out of here. I'm deadheading with my money, my fuel. I'm leaving. Like I'm going on. I don't care if we got to drive 700 miles to get to the next freight area. I'm leaving. So we can get into Kansas City area, like right there on the Missouri line. We will be in a lot better freight area than what we're in right now. So I'm not upset about this. This happens in the trucking industry. It's unfortunate because Prime, being the company that they are, as big as they are, it does take a lot of cogs to make this clock work, but it should not be as prevalent as it is. The biggest problem I have with this is when you know a truck, especially a truck that is always on times, always safe, yada yada, BS, is going to be somewhere. When I sent my arrival to that 90 today, sales and the FM should have coordinated and said, hey, look, all right, that's a team truck. We need to get them rolling on a team load, not a solo run till Wednesday. That's not acceptable. So guys, control what you can control, monitor what you can't, keep an eye on it, but don't let it get to you, okay? What I'm telling you is I can control where this truck's sitting in the morning. I denied 3 bad loads that would not fit what I was doing for my business this week. So guess what? I'm not gonna sit here till the morning and deny 3 more bad loads, okay? I'm gonna get out of here. I'm done with this. I'm not gonna sit in Denver anymore. I'm tired of it. We shouldn't have to sit, you know, especially being the operation that we are. James is like starting his 3rd week in TNT, but he's a fantastic trainee so far. No issues whatsoever. He's very comfortable with the truck. He's comfortable with his shifts, and we work really, really well together. And it's just like with any trainee that's on the truck. But the biggest problem to me, the biggest thing to me is like these trainees see what happens. They understand and see what happens. And like, James, what did you want to do when you first came to Prime? Like, what was your ambitions? Like, before you actually got in the truck and started seeing how certain things operated.
Before I jumped in this truck, I was just thinking, I want to do I came to Prime specifically to do flatbed. It wasn't like I'll decide when I get there. It was straight up right out the gate. I said I want to do flatbed, and then I found out about the whole lease operator thing as soon as I got to Prime when I was doing the PSD and everything. And I thought, maybe I'll do like a year company, get comfortable with it, and then I'll switch to lease. And then once I got on this truck and we started running a little bit, I was like, maybe I'll go lease after like a couple months or something like that.
Right.
And then it's just, because being on this truck, learning everything, seeing how it all works, it's one of those things where it's like, the main skill is like risk management at this point from what I've been seeing.
Right.
And it's like now it's kind of making me rethink like, maybe I should wait a little bit longer to do lease. Maybe I should really like wait till I finish the TNT to make a decision on that.
Right.
It's like just because pretty much since I've gotten on this truck, it's been hitting the fan like about every 3 days.
Right.
About getting about as sideways as it can get.
Yeah.
And so.
And it's nothing that's in our control. Like it's nothing that we're doing. We're not showing up to appointments late. We're not dipping out or like saying, oh man, you know what? I know we need to be there at 9 a.m. but man, can we just push it back till 2? No, we are doing our job. And the thing about it is, guys, is what the issue we're having is this experience, my experience, whatever happens on this truck emanates to the trainees. So there's 2 things that can happen here, okay? Number 1, all right, James can look and say, hey, look, I wanted to go lease. I was interested in this. Now, not so much. I'm kind of worried, maybe I don't want all that headache that, say, Freight's got or, say, his buddy's got or whatever at Prime. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe I just want to stay company. That's not a good image to give your brand new drivers. Number 2, okay, he's going to look at it and say, man, this guy is my trainer. If they're making my trainer sit for 24 hours, what's that telling me? That's the message that I'm trying to get across to you guys is it doesn't matter who you are, and this stuff will happen no matter what company you're with, guys. Okay? And I want to be upfront and honest with you. I would love to sit back and just say every single day is great. It's amazing, and there's no problems whatsoever, but we do run into these issues, and we run into these issues. It's all about how you combat them. And like I was actually singing and whistling on the way over here to do this live. And I told James, I said, I think I'm just so frustrated today that I'm almost like happy mad at this point. Like I'm so frustrated. Like I'm not even want to be frustrated anymore. I just want to like laugh about it because it's ridiculous.
Frustrated beyond the point of caring.
Yeah. We got to get Donald Trump on the phone. He's fixed everything. Ask anyone. He's tremendous. But so what experience that emanates to the trainee is not good. Okay. And I can do my best. I can say, hey guys, I'll call you back or, whatever. Hey, let me get out of the truck. But the problem is eventually those trainees are going to see this. Okay. They're going to see. All right. Now, to what degree, why we're sitting today, like what's the purpose? I don't know. That's something I can't control. But what I can control is where this truck will be at in the morning. Because obviously we've been empty since 11 o'clock this afternoon. 11 a.m. Yep. And it's 7:12 now. So 8 hours. 8 hours we've been sitting empty. And guess what, guys? I'm not going to sit here for another 12 hours. I'm going east. So I can control where this truck's sitting in the morning. That's the great thing about being a lease op. You don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to ask permission to move your truck. If you have the fuel, you know, there are drivers obviously who take advantage of it, and they'll cut their, you know, you might have a driver that says is always just defying everything. Okay. And Prime's system is a controlling system. They have a certain amount of control. You know, look at it like playing any sport. You have boundaries. That's the way Prime works. You have boundaries. You have some choices. You have some say-so, but you don't have it all. Okay? You can never enjoy the whole flexibility and 100% say-so on anything here. And I'm saying that the most respectful way, because if you're an owner op and you are actually there's a line across my yeah, there it is right there. There's a line across my face. Yeah, it was. But if you want that whole experience of being an owner op and you guys making all the choices and you have all the freedom to do everything, prepare to shell out some money. Okay, make sure that you're with the right company, or prepare to shell out some money. Your DOT, your MC numbers, your insurance, everything. Guys, you don't have 100% control here. I'm going to tell you. Damn, now I have to start from the beginning of the video. Dreadnought. I'm about to tell you, you don't have 100% control at Prime. Okay, and I'm hoping this video you guys will share this video to people coming in, because this lease op thing is an amazing way to buy a truck. It's an amazing way to taste a little bit of that freedom of the owner op side. It's an amazing way to learn your business side and your business skills out here in the industry. But you got to remember, guys, Prime is a safety net. Okay, Prime is a safety net. It doesn't matter how much I pay a week for this truck. I don't have 100% control over anything. I just don't, and I never will. Let me see if I can get this line. Thanks, Tim. Now the line's bothering me now. There we go. All right, there we go. That's better. Yeah, me going with the line. But guys, you got to remember, you don't have control here at Prime. Okay, you don't. What you just do, it's all chair short rope, sir. Just do what you can have to do that's good for your business. I didn't take those 3 loads today because they weren't going to be good for my business. That wasn't what I needed for this week. It would have been foolish. It would have been foolish of me to have took the loads and then complained about it back, later on. Because what's sales going to do? Sales is going to say, "Well, you took the loads. You should have took the load."
Yeah.
Because that's the truth. That's the truth. I shouldn't have took the load. I am actually doing myself a favor by repositioning my truck and actually being in a better freight area for the morning. If we got to sit, okay, if we have to just not be loaded and I have to have no freight on the truck and I'm not making any money, I want to end up in an area for tomorrow morning where I can actually get a better load choice. Okay, so they can't make me stay here, okay, and they can't make me go, but I do have to work within their parameters. You do have to feel out what choice you have in those parameters and what you can and cannot do. Guys, I'm 100%. This is why I say Prime's your partner. Prime's not your boss. You're not Prime's boss. You really have to work with each other, okay? You really do. And you have to kind of lean on each other, okay? Prime trusts us to get the freight there safely and on time. We're trusting them to give us what we need as ops, as lease ops. So I was very disappointed today when I realized that, hey, the 3 loads I had for us weren't even close to team loads. They weren't even close to trainer loads. They weren't even close to the money that the truck needed for the week. But I didn't go crazy. I sent emails to the right people. I got stuff going on. They have not solved the problem yet, but that doesn't mean that they're not working on it. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be solved. But guess what? Instead of me waiting around like a puppy dog, waiting for somebody to throw me a bone, I know in my head, hey, there's a better area I can move on to. Instead of sitting here, I can actually move on to. Now you can say, some people say, well, you're taking a risk. No, I'm taking a risk staying here in a $1 per mile area in Prime's network. That's the risk that I'm actually taking. Yeah, Rich, I do have load choice. It offered me 2 loads today. Both of them, one of them was dropping tomorrow. That was going to like the middle of Nebraska somewhere for like $800. And the other one was dropping down in El Paso, Texas for just over $1,000. As a training truck, I like to keep my truck at about $1,250 or higher a day. So you guys do the math, $1,250 times 7, that's going to be over $8,000 a week. Okay, So about 8,600 bucks. So 84, yeah, close to 86, yeah. So that's what I do. No, you get a possible, when you pull off load choice, you get a possible 2-3 load shots. That's it. Only 2 loads popped up for me, the same loads each time. Okay. And let me refrain something else to anybody that's watching this video later on. Okay. And I know I talk a lot. Okay. Believe me, I know. Yeah, no, you only get 3 at a time if they have 3 at a time, Rich. If you're able to see 3 at a time, that's the only way you get 3 at a time. Let me reiterate something to everybody watching, okay? Whether you're working at Prime, whether you're driving for Prime, whether you're thinking about coming to Prime, you're not talking dirt. What's up, Steven? You're not talking dirt about the company you work for if it's the truth, okay? I'm not talking dirt about Prime. I'm giving you guys the truth. I'm giving you a truthful experience. I'm not cussing them. I'm not saying F Prime or do this, whatever. Guys, I'm giving you the experience so you know what to expect. People look at us and they say, well, you know, Prime's the best, and Prime's a great company. But it's all about what works best for you. If you're one of these people that wants to come in and wants to say, hey, you know what, I want the entire 100% freedom of owner-op, Prime's probably not going to be good for you. I can go ahead and tell you, because you're not going to get it 100%. You're not. If you're one of these people that comes in and says, you know what, I just want to learn a little bit of the business side, get my feet wet, and possibly buy a truck, Prime's probably going to be great for you, 100%. Especially if you want that safety net of, you know, Big Brother helping you constantly. You know, there's a million different companies you can drive for, guys. Prime is not the only company to drive for. Okay, I do. Sorry, I got a notification. I should have put no notifications on. I do enjoy my time here at Prime. I would love it if I always felt like everything was fantastic and I never wanted to leave. I love the camaraderie here. I love training. I love everything. But guys, there's a lot of times where you do second guess your daily walk with this company, and I want to let you guys know, be aware of that before you come in. The number 2 thing that I can tell you guys is have goals. Have your goals set 100%, guys, before you come in. Like, know what you want out of the industry. If you're fine just running company and you want to, you know, just experience company side and just get into the industry and stuff, that's fantastic. Guys, take and know your goals. Have that direction that you're pointed in. Find out where you want to point yourself at. Don't just come in and say, well, I saw Freight Skater on YouTube, or I saw Johnson's Logic on YouTube, or I saw Driver Lineup on YouTube. Guys, we all appreciate the attention. We do 100%. And we appreciate your support and your interest no matter what. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the realest joker you'll ever meet. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not sugarcoating anything. Okay? We bust our tail out here on this road with Prime. We do. We make it happen. And you will have to make it happen. Because I'm telling you, it's all about what your expectations and ambitions are to come into this industry. So I can tell you right now, Prime's been good to us, but I can also tell you there's a lot of things that could be better. 100% better. Guys, for Prime to have such a big footprint in the freight market right now, there's no reason what happened today and what happened 2 weeks ago with us sitting in Denver should happen at all. No reason. And James, what are your goals? Like,
just like long-term type stuff?
Well, just like for the next year, the next 3 years, next 5 years, what are you thinking about?
So I'm like, I kind of was, right now I'm kind of thinking about like the ladder that you were saying with Prime, where, if you just want to come in, get your feet wet in the industry, that kind of thing. That was kind of what I was, kind of what I want to do, is just sort of, get in here, figure out, how all this stuff actually works. Just because I do want to actually, own a truck one day, have the full freedom just to pick the loads that I want to take and stuff like that. And, from what I've seen, Prime is still, the best way to do it. Right. From what, from just like,
definitely.
From like the way they carry you through training.
Yeah, definitely. When you talk about that entry level setup, the entry level.
It's like, this is, every other company I looked into, like Swift, CRM, and all them, they give you like 2 or 3 weeks with a trainer, and then you're on your own. Right. So it's like whatever happens is just going to happen. If nothing bad, if you have the smoothest possible, training phase of 3 weeks or whatever, then it's just like you just gotta pray the rest of it's gonna be like that. Right. Because if what happened to us this morning happened to me when I was solo, and that never happened to me, I would have been I'd been waking up all the time. I'd have been sitting there on the side of the interstate, not knowing what to do.
And that's the silver lining, is that you guys do get to experience that what do you say, that tough situation or that conflict, and you can say, okay, well, I remember how I dealt with this when I was in training. So that is the silver lining of it. And there always is a silver lining. There's always a learning moment, guys. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. There's always a learning moment where you can learn something from the situations you're in. These experiences, you can't replace them. That's my two biggest regrets about Prime, is I didn't come first. I didn't get my CDL here. And that I didn't go ahead and buy my truck. But obviously, we know because of the house.
Yeah.
So, but guys, I don't regret being here at Prime at all. It doesn't mean that I don't see flaws that we could adjust. Prime is such a big footprint in the market. Like, we have the potential as a company to be the very best on planet Earth. Like, to our drivers, to our customers, to everything. And there's a lot of things that we have to tweak and tune, and it's not perfect. And that's what the whole Prime's Not Perfect video was about, because I got shafted and stuck in Denver. Like, same place, like 2 weeks later, we're right back here in the same spot, and nobody's got an explanation or a solution.
Yeah.
So, am I going to go hang my keys up tomorrow and quit? No, I'm not. Have I thought about it? Yes, I'm not going to lie, because this stuff keeps happening. But it doesn't mean that I'm ungrateful, and it doesn't mean that I'm sick and tired of everything. It just means that there's things that need to be worked on, guys. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you in chat. Guys, like I said, this wasn't meant to be a live. This was meant to be a raw, uncut video for you guys to reference back to. Denver is a terrible reload area, Rich. It is terrible. And it's terrible. Ask anyone. It's awful. What these people are doing out with these roads is terrible. But I will not come back to Denver. I've gotten burnt twice in a month. I'm not coming back to Denver. There's no more freight skater back in Denver. So if I'm coming to Denver, it better pay for the week, because I'm planning on living out here for a week.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier. If you're a company driver, going to Denver is fine.
Yeah, it's just miles.
You can always just shoot down to Pueblo, grab some slinkies, and just get going. Which is, I think at one point they wanted us to do that. But
well, that was the other thing is the third load that we had to turn down was slinkies. But here's what happened: the load wasn't even ready to be dispatched. So we sat for over an hour, and the next thing you know, I get a message over the QC, "Hey, we've got a load coming out of Pueblo. Head that way." And I'm like, I'm not going to head that way until I start figuring out what's going on. So we were actually already on the highway trying to get to Commerce City, TA, because that's the cheapest fuel. We're trying to be prepared. And I go ahead and tell, against my best judgment, I go ahead and tell James, all right, man, well, here's where we're going. Just start heading this way. So guess what, guys? We get about 30 miles into the trip, 40 miles into the trip. The rate comes over, not even close to what we needed, because I had already been very vocal about what the truck needed for the rest of the week. I was very vocal. I didn't take this Denver load because I wanted to take the load, okay? I took the Denver load because I was advised on last Thursday that this was the best load for us at the time. So we took the Denver load, okay? Now, when I'm told that there's nothing else, and this is the best load that we could possibly get, I'm gonna play my cards the best way I can. So I'm not gonna sit if I don't have to sit. But you can look at it from the glass outside looking in, okay, right now, and you can say, well, Freight, the reason you're sitting is because you wanted to sit. You denied 3 loads. And that's true. I did deny 3 loads. But I denied 3 loads for the right reasons, because it wasn't what my business needed. Okay? I will be way better off. Instead of getting stuck on a solo load for 2 days, I will be way better off, instead of sitting in Denver like I am, going straight east and getting towards Kansas City, Missouri line, and being ready to reload for in the morning. So once again, I'm playing my cards the best way I can. And guys, and that's exactly what I want to relay to you guys is, and I want this video, this is one of the videos I would really like for you guys to push out, share to people, like, and I'm going to put some real good descriptive notes in there. But guys, you need to know what to do if you're in this situation. You need to know, what's up, heathens? You need to know what your best bet should be. Why would you deadhead 600 plus miles not being dispatched? Okay, this is the reason. What's up, son? Love you, bud. This is the reason, guys, is the reason that we're doing it, is because it doesn't benefit me to sit here and wait for Denver to deny 3 more crappy loads in the morning and still be stuck in the same position. So, and like I said, like James just said, this is a learning experience for everybody. It's a learning experience, but you got to know when to cut loose. You got to know when to say, hey, look, it's not worth it. I got to do something. Control what you can control, monitor what you can't. Okay, that's the thing about it. And be vocal about what you need. Know what your truck needs. You know what you need as a person. Do you need to go somewhere? Do I need to get James somewhere for this week? Just got a class. Glad to see you streaming. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it, man. I wasn't supposed to be streaming. I'm just being too lazy because I don't want to edit a video, and I wanted James to be a part of it because he's up now. So for once. But guys, it's really serious to me. It's not out of a spite thing. I'm not deadheading and being like, oh well, F prime, I'm doing what I want to do. No, I'm deadheading because it's going to be my best bet. You know, what's up, Fearless? Good to see you. I'm always lazy. I guess it's hereditary. You get it from your mama, boy. You don't get it from me. God, I hope she's not watching. She's gonna be mad as hell. That's all right. But guys, you know when to cut your losses and take matters into your own hands and do your own thing. The longer you're out here in this freight market that Prime has, the more you'll start knowing what areas you need to be in and stuff. I knew we were going to take a hit coming out of Denver, but I had no idea I was going to be sitting again. I mean, I thought for sure we would actually have a decent team load, an overnight load. Now, if the third load that they offered me, and I'm not going to tell you what the rate was on it, because it was nowhere near what I needed. But if the third load that they offered me would have been a great load to get off overnight, oh man, if I could have got it off overnight, I took it in a heartbeat. I'd have been gone. But it was going to be a 2-day load. And there's no way I could sit on it. I mean, it didn't even come close to that $12.50 a day mark at all. Not even close. And so, guys, know what you need, 100%. You know, there's more than rate per mile to denying a load. You know, it's not, you don't deny loads just because I don't like that place, or I don't do that. You know, no, deny it because it makes sense for your business. Deny it because you will take a loss in the long run for that load. Now, there are a lot of places where you'll have to take a load out of a crappy area like this to go to a better area, just like Rich just said. But the problem is the 3 areas I was offered was not better. Okay, northern Nebraska is not a good area for us. Okay, I'm sorry, northwestern Nebraska is not a good area. El Paso, Texas is not a good area. Tennessee, the Tennessee load was the best area to go into. Okay, that was the third option. Problem is the revenue wasn't even close to what we needed for the week. I would have took a loss this week taking that load. I mean, James would have grossed more money this week than me. That's why I didn't take the load. There's no way I'm doing that. I'm never going to take a loss ever. If I take a loss, these wheels will not be moving. That's all there is to it. If I plan on taking a loss, I won't be working. No man should work to not be able to pay his bills. You see what I'm saying? If you're not going to be able to pay your bills, if you're not going to be able to get what you need out of your business, shut it down. Shut it down or relocate to where you need to go to. Guys, don't wait on permission, okay? If you're lease op, don't wait on permission, okay? You don't need permission. If you don't like that, if they're not willing to work with you, if that's not working at the time, or they're not giving you the option that you're looking for, take matters into your own hands, do your thing, but be smart about it. Don't be spiteful. Don't let your feelings get in the way of things. Do the right thing for your business, 100%. That's all. That's really what this whole video is about. And like, I'm having to coach James and being like, hey man, I know you see this and you're worried about it. Prime's a great company. Prime's awesome, you know, because I'm trying to keep my trainee, you know, enthused, you know, because I don't want him having a bad experience. I don't want him being like, man, that was just nuts, man, friggin' TNT. I hated that, you know.
It was funny because this whole time, like my PSD was more or less honestly the same way. It was kind of like we had the same amount of miles, but we had a lot more time to get there.
Right.
Like because we had 2 clocks to run because it was my instructor and 2 students.
Right.
So we got dispatched like Huntsville to Cedar City, and they were saying, since we were PSD, they more or less just dispatched as a solo.
Right.
And so they're like, hey, you got 4 days to go, whatever it was, 2,000 miles, 1,900 miles.
Right.
And so we got there 2 days early. And so, right at the beginning, it was just that whole mentality of, well, we can get there early, so why don't we get there early?
Exactly.
And then this TNT has just been completely like freaking 180. It's been, hey, you got, with that Washington load, it was, hey, you got 2,400 miles, you got to be there in like 2 days.
Yeah, a day and a half.
Yeah, and then we get there, it's, hey, by the way, we're actually going to load 2.5 hours south of here. Sorry.
Yeah,
bad.
exactly. And then, we don't know if we got your reload yet, even though we knew you were going to be dropping at 9 p.m. tonight. Like, how does that slip through the cracks? It doesn't make any sense to me,
It's been crazy because you know, it's like now that I've seen kind of both sides of it, can go real smoothly. You can get, you know, you can make your drops early, and you can, you know, just run pretty comfortably and everything. And then, you know, everything goes real well with everything. It all went off without a hitch. And then, you know, I jumped in this truck, and it was just sideways as much as it could get.
Right.
And then it wasn't until this morning, you know, third time I stopped, I was standing on the side of the highway listening to coyotes howl like half a mile away. and in that moment I was sitting there, I was like, I'm not a fan of this exact situation. I gotta say, you know, I was like looping these things.
Dude, let me tell you something. Dude, we were both. I released some information to him just a few minutes ago, and he was on the phone with his dad. And I told him, I was like, dude, I was really starting to question reefer. Like at this point, like we had stopped. We'd probably wasted like 7 hours on that tarp trying to keep it on the trailer. It was nuts.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, man, these freaking reefer guys don't have to deal with this stuff. This is, you know, I was like, you know, because it was 40 degrees outside. I'm walking out there in flip flops. You know, the freaking wind chill had it at like 30. I'm standing there just freezing. I'm like shivering, my hands are freezing.
I was about to call Junior Honduras and be like, bro, just come get me. Just come get me right now. Like, I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm done.
I was sitting there and I was like, man, this is, you know, I was like, this is one of those situations where it's just like, man, this kind of sucks. You know, I was trying to stay excited. I was like, you know, we're dropping this load today. It's gonna be good. Every time I got on the road, I was like, all right, this time it's good for sure.
What's up, Junior? I see you. I see you, baby. I see you.
Every time I tied it down, I get 20 miles. I'm like, okay, you know, for sure, this time we're good. We're gonna make it. I only got 180 miles, and then, you know, get 20 miles down the road, and I see the whole daggum back of the tarp blowing out, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, man,
it's like dread. It was terrible. It was awful.
I was like, man, that box trailer ain't sounding too bad right now.
I told James, I was like, dude, never in the almost 5 years I've been with Prime have I ever had this problem with a load like this. That tarp was not. I mean, it was like as soon as we would tie it off, whether it was rope, bungees, whatever, like God was like, nope. and it would just, like, the whole thing would just like fly off the back. I mean, it was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like we spent like 7 hours total on this trip trying to keep this tarp on this trailer. And then, get this, we get to the receiver, guess what he says? I really wish you guys wouldn't even tarped it. Really? What? Yeah, why did you say that when I called? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, because I mean, you lost what, 5 hours on your shift? It was like,
5 hours yesterday.
We were supposed to stop at like what, 8 and 8.
Yeah, we were gonna stop at 8. We were gonna get a shower. Yeah, we were gonna eat and everything. No, screwed.
We were screwed. Switch off till like 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was
and then
nuts.
I lost easily 2.5 hours on mine. I mean, it was crazy. I had to stop
nuts.
4 times, and it was just like the whole time, like. I jumped in the driver's seat and I was like, man, we're finally going to be early.
Right.
You know, I was like, this whole time it's just been delay after delay after delay, and, you know, just these crazy runs. And,
right.
You know, we sit in the freaking on the 405 going through Seattle at 4 in the afternoon on Friday and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, we can finally make this drop early. And then, you know, the second I'm like, you know, I settle in, we get about 200 miles down the road. I look at the mirror and the, you know, whole corner of the tarp is flying out. And I was like,
man, it was a nightmare.
I was like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like James said earlier, he was like, you know, like if you can get somewhere, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later in a different video, but if you can get somewhere early, prioritize your actual availability. So, like a lot of guys, and I know, and everybody's situation is different. James is single, no kids, no wife, no nothing like that. So obviously he can get out here and he can kind of play with his time a little bit more, stuff like that. Like me, I'm out here for one reason only, and that's to bank. That is it. I'm out here to bank. I'm out here to help these guys start their careers. That's what I'm doing right now. So I do not play. Like the end of his second week, he was like, dude, I've got 10,000 miles already. He's like, I can't believe. And I'm like, dude, I told you, man, I'm not messing around. Yeah. So the thing about it is, guys, is prioritize your needs, prioritize your wants, prioritize your goals, and prioritize your availability as an operator. If you have an open window from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you show up at 3:30 because you just wanted to, don't expect anything fantastic, okay? Even if you may not even get reloaded. Your clock may run out before you even get there, and that's fine. That's no big deal. But prioritize your needs 100%. Yeah. Don't James can't look at me and say, you know what? Even though Freight taught me this, Freight taught me that, doesn't mean that I have to run my truck exactly like he does. It means that he needs to run his truck to his benefit with the knowledge that he knows for him. So there's a million different ways to truck, guys. I mean, there's not just one way. Like, I will never look at you and be like, hey, if you don't do it my way, you're wrong. No, you do it your way. Everything that I give these guys in this cab is a foundation layer. That's it, for them to build off of. So prioritize your business, your operating schedule, your day, and make yourself as readily available as possible. And that's where the money's at. So that's why we're actually positioning ourselves east instead of sitting here in Denver or south of Denver now, because I'm not making myself available for the same rates or crappy loads that I was offered today. It does me no good. It does me absolutely no good whatsoever. So let's add some questions here. Time to go reefer. Chris says no, not yet. Where's your trainee? This is my trainee right here, James. So this is my trainee. I think they're talking about the last trainee that was on here. Michael Hunt says there's plenty of freight out there. A certain company released a Q3 report today, 1.6 billion in sales with a $970 million profit. Plenty of freight. Respect your honesty. And I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you so much. There is plenty of freight out there. There's so many freight options, and that's what I've been pushing for the last 2 years, guys. 2 years at the DAB meeting. Expand our freight options, okay? Expand our freight options. Whether it's reefer, whether it's flatbed, whether it's whatever. We as big of fleets as we are in our divisions, we actually need to keep collecting more. But guys, let me let you in on a little secret, okay? Prime lost over 4,600 drivers last year, okay? Over 4,600 drivers. That's going to be a shocker to anybody watching this video, okay? Those numbers came from Prime. That's not numbers that I manifested. Those are numbers that I actually requested and asked for and everything. The reason that Prime lost 4,600 drivers, I can tell you, is because of things like this. Instances like this where the driver gets frustrated and they think that, hey, you know what? I'm done. Screw this. I'm done. Guys, don't get that way. Don't be frustrated like that. Don't make a rash decision out of the heat of the moment, okay? Make a rash decision if it's going to benefit you in the long run and if you know you're settled into that new decision, okay? Don't burn bridges and don't actually take and try to control everything within the system, because you're not going to be able to control the Air Prime. You just can't. They're not going to let you. They have their system at play. That's the way it is. Now, Prime's a great company for a lot of different reasons, okay? And like I said earlier, it's all about your goals and your ambitions. But guys, there's a lot of things here at Prime that you're probably not going to like, just like with any other company. And it's all about what you're willing to deal with to get what you want out of your experience here. So, and that's the real truth. I mean, the 100% real truth. Prime's been good to us. We built a house. We bought vehicles. I mean, we've put kids through braces, cash money. Dude, we have been very blessed. But that's not saying that stuff like this doesn't happen. I mean, we are actually rearing onto a negative week this week as a team training truck, okay? And it's a training truck before it's a team truck, because I don't expect anybody to come straight out of PSD just getting their license to run team miles. I mean, you can ask James, like for the first week I got no sleep at all because I wanted to make sure he was good. You know, I'm not just gonna pass out on my guys like 30 minutes. Hey man, you good to go? See you later. I'm going to the bunk. No, you have to actually coach these guys, get them comfortable into this situation. It's a whole new world for them. You know, not trying to get all Disney on you with the Little Mermaid, but it is. It's a whole new world. I mean, so
it's like when we loaded that Charlotte pipe in North Carolina, after we had deadheaded out of Florida. I mean, you were awake for pretty much that entire drive up.
That was like 28 hours or something. I was up or something like that.
And then we got to that Charlotte pipe and we had to start strapping down. We were there for I don't know what, an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
And maybe. The whole time, you know, you're just a freaking zombie.
Yeah.
Just walking around like.
And I still had to be available for James. As a trainer, I had to be there and show him different things. You know, if he was attempting to do something, and I would say, hey man, there's actually a better way to do that. I had to be like ready for that, because I can't look at my guys and be like, hey man, I know you've thrown a couple straps before, but I'm so tired, bro. I'm going to bed. Just let me know if you need anything. No, dude, that's the kind of trainers that don't need to be out here on the road, man. You know, you got to remember, man, you're giving these trainees their first experience and everything. So, you know, do them right. Do them the way you would want to be treated. Treat people the way you want to be treated no matter what. But, you know, guys, these instances happen here at Prime. It's not perfect, There's no perfect scenario. You have days where you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, man, this is the best day ever. This load is awesome. I'm going to a great area. I might even be swinging by the house. This is freaking fantastic. And then you're going to wake up and you're going to drop a load like today with torn up $900 brand new tarps and realize you're stuck. So doesn't mean I'm down and out. Doesn't mean there's not another day. It just means, guys, you got to put your best foot forward and take your next best action for you and your business. So, you got anything to say on that?
I mean, it's like back to what you were saying earlier about, you know, like trying to make your drops like it's, you know, earlier in the day and stuff like that. Like not just moseying in. When
Be
you feel like
proactive,
it.
yeah.
It's like this is one thing I learned pretty fast was that this is not, and it's like like my last job, I worked at a bakery, and you know I was scheduled for like, you know, basically just 9 to 5 every day. And you know, if you showed up at 8:45 and then you know, you're scheduled at 9, you show up at 8:45, or even you just show up right at 9, and then you leave right at 4, or you leave right at 5, whatever time you're scheduled to, you're a good employee. You know, they say, oh, he's dependable, he's reliable, he's there when we need him to be, you know, he's great. But then, you know, in this industry, it's like if you pick up your loads like right on time, you drop them right on time and stuff like that, that's great. You know, you're good, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not running late all the time, but you're never going to get that extra load every week. You're never going to get that extra, you know, $1,500, $2,000.
You're not guaranteed it. Yeah, you're not guaranteed anything.
It's one of those things where it's like you could just make everything on time, and you could, you know, if you got 4 days to go 1,500 miles or something like that, or 1,800 miles, you can take it easy for 4 days, or you can just run like hell for 3 days, make your drop on time, get an extra load for the week. It's like this is one of those jobs, this is one of those industries where you very much profit by just getting everywhere as fast as possible.
Right.
You know, even if it's not necessarily, you know, something you want to do in the moment, it's just like doing that kind of thing.
Well, it's if you have the logistics backing it as well. Like if we were able to be pre-planned, like every single load, like if sales or the FM would say, hey, look, man, if you guys can get this off Thursday, we got you. See you later, Tim. God bless, buddy. You guys can get this off Thursday. Yeah, man, yeah, you're good to go. We got you set up, bro. You better believe. Like if I'm like, James, are you good? Like running like maxed out, like you straight? Yeah. Like we'll run full 11s. We did go into Washington. Yeah. We did that load from Texas to Washington. Then when we did the Houston Truck Tarps video, guys, that was a haul. We covered like from Cameron, Texas to Houston, Texas to Seattle, Washington, down to Puyallup, Washington, from Wednesday at 9 a.m. to Friday at
like 10 p.m.
Well, we didn't get a load until 10 p.m., but we were there at like, I think 5 p.m. I think we were there. Yeah, 5 p.m. Yeah, it just took them forever to unload us. Yeah. But I mean, we hauled. I mean, we really hauled. And guess what, guys? We got like a $2,000 load for the weekend. And all that for nothing. You know, what I should have done then was been like, hey, I'm dropping this Monday. If you want me to take it, I'll drop it Monday. Took my time, whatever. Because guys, you're never guaranteed that extra load, especially if you don't have the logistics backing you. So that's one thing I can say about Prime is like, there's if we would have, number one, pre-plans, if they would actually pre-plan us and we knew ahead of time what we were actually going to go after afterwards, because 99% of us here in these fleets know how to operate our vehicles. We know how to operate our trucks. I'm not the best at anything. There's plenty of people out who are more profitable, more efficient than I am, and they know how to operate these trucks. So there's no reason a profitable, efficient, safe operator should not know where he's going before he actually drops his load. It makes no sense. But if they're not going to pre-plan us and they want that control to where like, hey, you know, okay, well, we'll dispatch you as soon as you're empty, or we'll let you know sooner or later. Okay, like today, sitting like 8 hours, they need to offer a guarantee to their lease ops, and that's I truly believe that. It's not being greedy, but you would fix so much. Prime would fix so much within the system, within their own system, by offering a guarantee to the lease ops. You know, X amount for teams, X amount for team and training trucks, X amount for solos. Number one, nobody would turn a load down unless it had something to do with some kind of health risk. Nobody's going to turn a load down if they have a guarantee. I wouldn't care what I hauled or where I went if I had a guarantee. Send it to me. Do you want me to go pick up freaking sheetrock? You want me to go pick up slinkies? You want me to go pick up lumber out of like nowhere, Montana? I don't care. I'm good with that, 100%. But it would also fix the driver FM relationship and the FM sales relationship. This is just speculation, guys. These are just ideas. But without a guarantee and without being pre-planned, every single time and knowing where you're going, guys, this is what causes the stress and it causes the wrinkle in the system. That wrinkle in the system where it loses faith between drivers, FM and sales, guys, it really is hard. And it's up to you guys to keep your blinders on and know where your goals are at, what you're here for. Okay, if you're here for Prime to be a longevity company, that's great, 100% great. You could build fleets here, you could buy trucks, you could do whatever you want to do here, but there's a system at play you got to follow. Okay, that's all there is to it. If you're here at Prime just to buy a truck, get your experience, buy a truck and leave, so be it. Do your thing. That's the one thing about Prime that Prime has over a lot of different companies, is the versatility to do what you want, get what you want out of the industry, okay, at your best benefit. That's exactly the way it needs to be looked at. It doesn't need to be looked at as, you know, well, they're not giving me everything I want, because you're not going to get everything you want. And it doesn't matter what company you go to. The only way you're going to get everything you want, what's up, BG? Good to see you. The only thing you're going to get everything you want is you take the lead, get your DOT and MC numbers, go get a truck financed, and you run it on your own authority, broker your own loads with your brokers, pull off of the DAP boards, pull off all the different load boards. That's the only way you're ever going to get what you want 100%, okay, at the time. It's your call at that point. Okay, don't come into Prime thinking, well, you know, I've heard this so many times. Like, I hear people say, well, I'm an owner-op. Well, do you own your truck or are you leasing your truck? I'm not an owner-op. I'm in my second lease. I do not consider myself an owner-op. Does it mean I can't be successful? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Does it mean that I might not be as successful as someone else? For sure. Maybe not. Does it mean I may be more successful than someone else? For sure. Maybe so. Guys, it's all about what you want out of this. When you come to Prime, you need to have the best attitude and have your goals in mind to say, hey, look, I'm here for this. Okay, this is what I'm here for. 100% hands down, I want this. Whether it's a truck, whether it's a fleet, whether it's to go company, get great insurance, which they do have, by the way, they have fantastic insurance. Whether it's to be a trainer, share that knowledge, or whether it's a mix of everything. Keep your blinders on, keep your goals in sight, and go after it. What's up, Carolina? Carolina Freight Shaker. Look, we got somebody else. Oh, we got another freight in here. I love it, man. That's what I'm talking about. But guys, keep your blinders on, keep your goals in your sight. Don't let things like this diminish your hope, diminish your dreams, diminish stuff and say, hey, you know what, Prime's terrible, Prime's awful. Prime's not terrible. Prime's not awful. But stuff slips through the crack. Stuff happens. It's just the way it's going to be, guys, 100%. So I wanted to bring this video to you guys today. I didn't want to edit. I didn't want to do anything. I'm going to put a lot of good footnotes down the bottom. But guys, share this video out. You know, people need to know what they're getting into. Okay. You're not going to be, I'm not feeding you a silver spoon for driver referrals, by no means at all. If you're watching this video and you're thinking about coming to Prime, I will tell you one thing. I wish I'd have came before I went and got my CDL anywhere else. 100%, hands down. You can't beat the training program here. That's really in depth. There's a lot of good time out here in this cab, and it gets you your feet into the water safely without you just going to some other companies, which I'm not going to name, that 2 weeks with a mentor, you're out on your own. I mean, guys, I wish I would have came first. I wish I would have came first. I wish I would have had my goals and my blinders on 100% when I came in, because I really didn't know. All I knew is I wanted to train and I wanted to be trucking. That was it. Exactly. And that's every company, Fearless. That is. It's an imperfect company ran by imperfect people. And guys, guess what? I'm not perfect either. Neither's James. Nobody's perfect. And that's the thing about it. That's why it's always good to have an open mind and take everything with a grain of salt. Put your best foot forward and make the best decision for your business. Not worry about anything else. Make the smartest decision for you. And that's what the video was all about. And that's why we're deadheading over 600 miles to get into Kansas. We're going to get close to Kansas City, better reload area, and we're going to make it happen. You know, I'm gonna say a prayer and let God do his work, man. I mean, I can't do anything else about it. There's nothing I can control about this. So the only thing I control is actually not sitting here and waiting like a duck, you know, to deny 3 more terrible loads tomorrow. That's going to be one thing that I'm not wanting to do. So, so in closing, I can say this, guys, much love to all of you. If you're interested in Prime, check out the channel, watch the videos, get all the research together that you want to get. Research other companies, guys. Research other companies, find out how they do things, what their training programs are, what their lease programs are, whatever your ambitions are, let them take you to your success. Okay? Prime's not the only company in the world. Okay? 100%. Like, whatever fits you is what's going to make you successful, and that's what's going to keep you happy. So Prime's not a good fit for everybody. You know, Landstar's not a good fit for everybody. It's just the way it is. The best thing to do in this industry is remember, keep an open mind, and know that it's always changing. Something is always changing. And just because it's happened to us tonight doesn't mean that Prime doesn't care. Doesn't mean that, you know, they're not going to work towards actually stepping forward and say, hey, look, you know what? We don't want this to happen in the future anymore. Even though it happened twice in a month, I don't know what that's all about. I mean, maybe I got a target on my back. I don't know.
They just don't like you.
They just don't like me. Like, that's that boy on YouTube. We don't like him. Like, oh, wasn't he stuck in Denver last week? Yeah, let's take him over there again and get him stuck again.
Hey, you know what'd be funny? Make him sit for a day and a half.
Make him sit. No, I don't think they were like that, guys. Honest to God. But guys, take everything with a grain of salt. Make your best decisions. Keep your goals in line, and know that just because something doesn't work out 100% for you doesn't mean that it's not for you, and it doesn't mean that things won't get better. So, James, you got anything before we close out?
Yeah, well, just on that note, you know, just because it doesn't work out for, you know, the first couple days or couple weeks doesn't mean it's not going to in the long run. I knew people in doing PSD where, you know, back to the whole, like, not everything, you know, Prime's such a big company, they can't make everything perfect.
Exactly.
Even in the PSD phase, you know, where it's like that's your very first impression of the company. You know, I've been super lucky so far. You know, I got, you know, an amazing PSD instructor. You know, we did just over 5,000 miles in just my first week ever being in a truck. And then I got really lucky with TNT because, you know, I got put on your truck, and I've already pretty much experienced about as bad as it can get. So it's like
Jesus. Well, he took it like up there and he just smashed it down.
Yeah,
like,
it's like I've already experienced like just the absolute lowest that this job can get. So it's like I already know, you know, okay, well, that was as bad as it can get, and I was honestly I've been having a good time. You know, I'm not the one having to deal with the stress.
Right. I told James, I said, dude, I swear to God, like this morning when I woke up and I helped him with the tarp.
Yeah.
On the last time we stopped, thank you, sweet Jesus. I helped him with the tarp, and I said, dude, we got back in the truck, and I looked over and I was like, James, promise you, man, other than tarping and untarping in the snow, this is as bad as it gets. I promise you.
It's been.
He's like, okay, well, as long as we got that out of the way, I'm feeling better about it.
It's been 2.5 weeks of it's not always this bad. I promise. This is as bad as it gets for this. It's as bad as it gets for this. But it's like, you know, I've gotten super lucky not just getting smooth sailing the whole time, because then something happens when I'm on my own. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But it's like I've gotten super lucky just because, you know, for whatever reason. But you know, it's like your last trainee jumping off the truck sucked for you, great for me. You know, it's like things that are unfortunate for you.
It was actually, I think it was a better fit too, because I don't think the circumstances were fitting him, you know, his needs and what he needed as well. Yeah. And I saw somebody comment about where was the last trainee at, and we kind of went over it in one of the other videos. I didn't name call. Obviously, I'm not going to, because I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. I wish him the best of luck. Okay, things didn't work out. Okay, it got to the point to where I felt disrespected, and he felt like, you know, he didn't want to do flatbed anymore, and that's fine. It's like 100%.
This industry, especially flatbed, just it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. You know, it's the division itself is not for everybody.
Not everybody's going to want to deal with this. You know, with what we had to deal with this morning and last night. It's like that was more of a hassle than I've ever had to deal with.
Exactly. Same here. I've never, in almost 5 years being here, I've never dealt with that kind of hassle.
It's like that was like the most stressed out I've ever been. And well, not necessarily ever, but the most stressed out I've ever been during training in a job.
Right.
But it's like I've gotten super lucky. But I knew people like the other guy that I did the PSD with. Last I talked to him, he maybe got picked up by his trainer 3 days ago. So he's just sitting around for 2.5 weeks waiting for a trainer.
Right.
And I knew somebody else that had been sitting around for 3 weeks last time I talked to him, waiting for a trainer. And it's just, you know, it's just kind of like a dice roll. And then even when I was doing the PSD, you know, there were guys that, you know, they got, you know, not to like talk bad about anybody or anything like that, but it's like, you know, they got the instructors that don't want to leave the training pad. You know, they'll go an hour up the road and back, just to say, you know, well, we did actually leave the pad. We just brought a load back.
We ran the lap around Springfield twice.
Yeah, it's like, you know, we went, you know, an hour up 44 and we came back. You know, man, we left the pad, we're good. But then, you know, I knew a guy who quit before he even got his CDL because he just couldn't stand it. you know, he was like, this is, you know, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I expected. This is not what they said was going to happen. You know, it's not perfect, especially just like that first couple weeks of the training phase, because I mean, my class was probably 40 people, and they started, you know, they start 2 classes every week, and they've only got so many instructors.
Right.
So you're going to end up with the guys who, you know, they take on 5-6 students and they just never leave the pad.
Yep.
But, you know, then
what they do is like 1 trip in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then, you know, but then, you know, those people will end up, you know, they'll end up on a TNT trainer's truck who maybe expects way too much of them, or just thinks that, well, they should already know this stuff, and then it's a frustrating process.
Yeah.
And it's very much it is still very much a dice roll, just being with such a huge company. And I've just gotten super lucky, you know, twice in a row now. You know, I'm pretty happy about it.
It's probably play the lottery.
Yeah.
I want to go in on it, but you're going to be the one betting, not me. I'm not gonna.
Maybe I should go and grab a scratcher.
Yeah, I buy a scratcher. Like I'll like buy one of them big ones, like the jumbo bucks, like $20. It's like it doesn't even just like not match up with the numbers. It just says you lose at the bottom. Like that's how my luck is.
Yeah, it's like, but it's like, you know, I've gotten super lucky, but it's like not everybody. You know, I've already seen that not everybody gets as lucky as me. You know?
Right.
It's like I just happen to be, you know, just right place. You know, I happen to start at the right time. I happen to, you know, get pushed out of I happen to get licensed at the right time and everything.
Right.
And it's just like, you know,
everything happens for a reason.
It's like stuff falls through the cracks. You know, people end up with, you know, trainers they don't really get along with, or they end up with, you know, like I've heard about a couple TNT instructors who will basically just say, all right, you're going to be running solo. I'm just going to sit here. And then they just sleep in the bunk the whole time or something.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It just kind of, it sours the experience. But it's like,
well, because you're kind of left on your own. You're like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah, and then it's like, it's like at that point, it's a lot of just kind of, you know, stick it out. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, like the last couple weeks.
And that's what the live before last was about, was to let the trainees know, like, if you feel like you're being done a disservice, or you feel like you're putting 115% in and your trainer's not, speak up and say something, because you don't need to endure that at all. There's no need to. And same thing with trainers. If you are giving your 115% to your trainees or your students, and you feel like they're just like not willing to comply with your method of teaching, either reach out to someone else and help you teach them, or you're going to have a conversation with them, guys. There's one thing I know for sure, though, is we're all adults out here, and we can all be humane to each other. There's no reason to be mean or spiteful or anything. The thing about it is, though, guys, is like some people just don't mesh. Some people just will not work, no matter what. No matter how hard you try, no matter how cordial you are, it's just going to be an uncomfortable situation. And that's the whole reason for all these videos, is for you guys to be able to see the research and see the real side of things that most channels aren't going to tell you. Most channels, you know, there's a lot of channels out there, whether it's the Swift channel or a Stevens channel or whatever, they're hunting those driver referrals, okay? I could care less, and mark my words, I could care less if anybody else, and I know I've put the driver referral thing in the videos and all that stuff, I could care less if anybody else ever used my driver code. And the reason I say that is because I never started this for the driver code referral, ever. It just happened. And that's the way it does. And that's just part of the things that we actually push out as YouTubers being here at Prime. But it doesn't matter. The driver referral code, that little bonus means nothing. Having you guys hit those comments up and say, man, I came to Prime because of you. I leased a truck because of you. I'm being successful because I watched your videos. That means more to me than any kind of bonus. 100%. Watching James, like if I knew James before and I was able to get his career started off, that means more to me than anything. And that's the reason I started doing YouTube, because not only can I reach James here in this cab, I get to reach you guys as well. And your support and you guys' interest in this channel is what keeps me going. Like, if I would have got on this live tonight, and I, honest to God, I expected like 2 people. Like, and I've been so happy with just seeing you guys pop in and out. But I expected 2 people, okay? And all I wanted to do was just say my piece, and I wanted this video to be very informational. I wanted it to be raw. I want it to be to the point where you guys are like, you know what? Frank's right. It's not all easy all the time, but there's always a silver lining somewhere, and there's always a reason to wake up the next day and move forward, because it's not over. One bad day does not mean that your life or your career is over. It sucks, okay? It's frustrating sometimes, but you're not over, okay? You have so many more miles to lay down. You got so much. What's up, Matt? Good to see you, brother. You got so many more miles to lay down. You got so much more potential. You have so many more goals to accomplish, okay? Do your research before you come into the industry, guys. Watch these videos. Watch all these other channels. You know, watch all of the YouTube channels, guys. Watch, not just me. Watch everybody, guys. and do your research, know your goals, and come in fully prepared, just wound tight, ready to go, like 100%. Make sure that this is something that you want to commit to, because it's a lifestyle. It is not a career. It's not a job. It's not a 9 to 5. People joke around flatbed being solar powered. It's BS. It's nighttime. I'm about to drive into Kansas. You know, we drive at night all the time. I
think we've been loaded during the day like twice.
Yeah.
Since I've gotten on this truck, everything
exactly.
else has been
like I tell James all the time, like I'm like, man, you're gonna get some daytime driving. Like I like to do 12 to 12 split. Like yeah. And James always starts like early in the morning or like late in the evening. He gets like he's like, well, I got my 2 hours of daytime in, I guess. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like it just rolls over that way.
It's like
you
the
know?
whole first week I was on here, I saw what, an hour and a half of the sun,
right.
And it was going down.
And like the thing about it is like he would get to the point where he'd run his shift where we would actually pick up or drop the load together, and then like I had to be up the whole time. So I'm steady, like my nighttime shift, I'm like half the time I'm like, oh man, come on bro, like 60 more miles. And yeah, I'm like, see, you're not the only one driving at night, James.
Yeah. What's like that first night that you know, I met you at your house and everything, we were running down to Florida in that first load. It's like you know, I was sitting there and I was like, you know, you were like, if you can't make it the full, whatever it was, like 450 miles, just wake me up, it'll be fine, it'll be good.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was like, I gotta make it to the fuel stop. Like, I started seeing like double lanes and shit, and I was like, oh man, I got 30 miles, I can make it. And then, you know, I ended up making it. It's a lot of like, the fatigue is just insane.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, you don't think going into it, just sitting here staring out the windshield is gonna wear you out like it does.
It will.
It's like, it's not even physical exhaustion.
And while we're on that too, is like I told you, you know, if you feel like you're at that point where you're at, like, you cannot take any more pullover, guys. Yeah. Take a nap, do whatever you got to do. If you're with a trainer, you know, and obviously this goes without saying, you got to get your rest, okay? But if you're with a trainer, guys, be responsible, okay? You have your life and their life in your hands. Same thing with trainers. Guys, if you get to the point where you were like, you can't keep your eyes open, pull over. Like, seriously. If you're to the point where, like, you black out for 2 seconds, pull over. If you start seeing double, pull over. Yeah. Like, if you start hearing constantly, pull over. Yeah. Guys, be smart about that. It's not nothing to play with. Believe me, that load can wait. Your life can't.
Well, it's like when we were leaving Washington. You know, we picked up that load in, wherever it was, Kalama,
yeah,
Kalama, Washington, yeah. We picked up that load. And by the time I even jumped in the truck to actually officially get on the road and start my shift, I was already tired. You know, it took us 2 hours just to get loaded, tarp strapped and everything. I was tired. I was, you know, sweaty.
I think that was the one load we had plenty of time on though. Like we just had plenty of time. We stopped to get the shower at the pilot before we actually got loaded.
We had like 2.5 days to go. 1,500 miles?
Yeah, and we were waiting. We were waiting on your 12 o'clock to roll over. Yeah, so you start, because you had already ran your full shift for that morning before.
And so that was the first one where we jumped on the road and I was like, man, I was like, you know, it's rough. I was like,
and see, I told him we had plenty of time, and I was like, dude, if you gotta take a nap, pull over, take a nap. You don't have to wake me up, bro. I trust you. Like, pull over, take a nap.
I ended up pulling off into a dadgum, you know, way station that had a whole parking lot. I pulled off into the way station. I just took like a 45-minute power nap. Yeah. And I jumped back on the road, and I was like, that was definitely a good call.
Yeah,
I still got like 5 more hours to
100%.
do. I still had like 4 hours left to do, 5 hours, something like that. And I was like, ooh, yeah, no chance I would have made it without stopping, man. I was like, dang,
it makes a big difference.
And that's one of the things I respect Prime and a lot of the training drivers and stuff for, is that's the one thing they harped on so much. As soon as I got my license and stuff, and when I was in the PSD, they were like, if you're getting just to the point where you are too tired to be driving, pull over.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, it's not the end of the world if you drop your load an hour late.
Yeah.
Or just because you just could not make it.
But it can be the end of the world if you don't pull over.
Yeah. They're like, you know, we'd rather you just pull over, be an hour late, than, you know, crash the truck with 80,000 pounds worth of freight and, you know, lose, you know, $200,000 for the company. So that was one thing that was really like, I didn't want to be, you know, I in no way have I felt pressured to just keep on going, even if I'm tired.
Never.
It's like this whole time it's just been, if you're tired, pull off. You know, if
and the thing about it is every load's different too, guys. Yeah. So like I'll tell James, heads up, like, dude, you have like literally 14 hours to drive 8.5 hours. Like, so do whatever you want to do in that 14-hour period. If you get 8.5 done first and my 10-hour gets up an hour and a half later, I'll jump in the seat. Yeah. But like, if you need to take a 2-hour nap and we've got the time, shoot, take the nap, 100%. So Guys, it's no load is worth your life. Okay, it's just not. It never will be. It never has been, and never will be. And that's why I like doing these lives, because like it's raw, it's uncut, and you get to like just like topic hop over and over, and it's like there's so much. I really think if I just did a live for like 10 hours straight, like my YouTube channel would be done. Everything would just be on there, like 100%. Like
that's
this.
It. There's nothing else to cover now.
Why is it free? Well, there's just one video that's like 12 hours long, so
like,
that's why he hasn't posted it in 8 years. So yeah, just watch that one video. 12. It's like a series, but it's all in one video.
It's
just
like
do
podcast.
That. Exactly. It's just all available.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet you either, Dredd. Let's answer some comments here, because I know we got to get going. Fearless says, that's what I do. Other than you, I watch Travis Kinley, driver lineup, Kersey, and a few other drivers. I've met another driver. She came down. We had dinner and stay in contact. That's awesome, Fearless. Yeah. We got some amazing people here at Prime, guys. I mean, amazing people. I can't give everybody props enough. There's a lot of YouTubers out there, guys, for Prime, and you guys give them some love. Look them up. Prime YouTuber, Prime Flatbed, Prime Reefer. You'll see them, guys. Amazing people we have in this company. Matt Edwards, yo, brother, good to see you, brother. Much love. Michael Hunt, flatbed and tanker is not for everyone. It's more detailed. That's true, 100%. There's a lot more involved with it, and it definitely takes a person. The reason I went flatbed is just because I've always been a motivated, out of the office chair person. I've never been a person to be able to just sit and like not be in motion. I've always been that person that's like got to be doing something. Like my hands have to be doing something all the time. So that's why I like flatbed. Plus, I just like the way all the freight. I like to be able to see my freight. I mean, every single time. I think it's awesome. Like you be hauling tractors one day, next day you're hauling beams.
Well, it's like you know, we got passed by that reefer the other day where the sides of the trailer are bulging out, and I was like, see, I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to, like stress wise.
Because you know, half the time they put the dang little, whatever it is, a little like metal zip tie on there, so you can't even open the door and check.
Oh yeah, the seal.
It's like they close it up. You just gotta hope it doesn't bust out the side of your trailer or nothing. You know, it's like, you know, if you
could be like dead bodies. You have no idea. Like I don't even know how you guys haul those things. Like, you know, like me, I'm like, bro, you better have an inspection window or something. Like I'm about to get in there and flashlight. I want to see what you got in there. I'm not gonna be hauling any white bricks. Like I don't know what you got in that box. Like you're not gonna get me pinned up with that.
Plus, it's kind of cool just watching them load us. Like when we picked up those totes.
For sure.
That was entertaining.
Oh, like the guy today, the crane. They had a crane that took our stuff off. You know, it's pretty awesome.
Construction crane.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
When we were getting loaded those totes, watching that guy, you know, just whip that forklift on off the trailer.
Yeah.
That was some entertainment.
Thought that guy was gonna flip, dude.
That was some entertainment. I was like, man, he's gonna drop these things for me.
Yeah, we were just like, come on, man. Like show us, give us a show, bro.
Yeah, it's like he's like jumping it over the ramp onto the trailer.
My God, it scared the mess out of us. He come around the corner like, boom, boom, hit the ramp. We're like, oh my God, what happened? Something just fell. We're freaking out.
It's cool, and it's just like, you know, strapping everything down. It keeps you up, keeps you moving and stuff, and then and it almost, you know, for me, it almost feels like I just, you know, stay a little bit more alert when you get to look in the mirror and make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
Every few minutes, you know, it's like, you know, it stops you just getting into that, just staring down the highway,
complacent,
droning on. It's like, oh, got you the mirrors.
Exactly.
You know, it's like it keeps your thoughts going, keeps your brain awake a little bit.
Plus, it's good for shutterbugs too if you guys like taking pictures. So.
Yeah.
Flatbed's really cool. Like when you get a sunset going or something, you can see the load. It's just awesome.
Driving west at sunrise is the coolest thing, especially when you're. It was an enormous relief this morning because I could actually see the tarp.
Right, exactly.
It wasn't just waiting for somebody to pass you and you're like, oh man, it's flying off.
Oh man,
it wasn't just trying to look at the lights.
We probably would have been better like tying cinder blocks to the tarp and just letting it like hang straight down.
Yeah, somebody drove by on a hot shot and they had their straps over the tarp and I was like, dang man, I just stopped and do that.
Yeah, well, we thought about that. I had a buddy of mine, Nick. He actually said, you know, throw some 2-inch straps over it. But the way the tarp was at the very top, how it kind of sloped.
Yeah.
But the product was level right there, dude. If I would have threw straps over that part right there, it would have just like ripped it in half right there.
Yeah.
There was nothing we could have done.
Yeah.
So, and plus, the load was only 7 foot wide. So you're gonna have our trailers are 8.5 feet wide. So you're gonna have 1.5 feet, which is basically going to equate to about, let's see, that's 12, 6, 18 inches, so 9 inches on each side that strap is going to actually bow out. So it's not even going to touch the daggone tarp that's sitting there flapping. So it was like really, it was a no-win situation. It just sucked.
Yeah, it was
100%. It just sucked.
Just a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just glad we made it. The tarps didn't get like blown away like parachutes. They are
Almost.
pretty damaged, like 100%. They're really damaged, but they're not. All is not lost, guys. I mean, it's this industry is ever changing. Your day is ever changing. You could be having the most fantastic day. Next thing you know, like everything's going to pot. Like it's just terrible.
Yeah.
So keep your head high, guys, and know what you're getting into when you come in, guys. Make sure that you do your research. And if you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. I do my very best to get to you guys every single time. It means a lot to me. I love interacting with you guys. This is why I enjoy lives more than I actually do doing other videos. But I really do enjoy the lives. I love the interaction. I love hearing you guys' thoughts and just everything you guys have to say. I mean, I love the interaction 100%. Just want to buy a truck, then move on. Dreadnought says. I mean, and a lot of people can do that. You can just buy a truck and move on no matter what. It's definitely an option. It's actually here. No matter how early I would be, except for Walmart, I would call and try to deliver early. I try to keep rolling instead of waiting all day. Exactly, Fearless, and that's the name of the game for sure. Let's see. Trying to get you a better reload area. That's what Rich said. Sorry, guys. I'm just running through these comments real quick. Trying to see. All right, so we didn't. Oh, Dreadnought says, bro, you're spitting truth, and I'm currently waiting for my TNT for flatbed. I need to hear what you say because it makes me better, more and more informed. That's what it's all about, Dread. Is making you guys more and more informed, making you knowledgeable about what's actually going on. I'm not. You can't talk trash about somebody if you're telling the truth, and it's all about the demeanor you present the information in. Now, if I was to get on here and say, man, guys, F Prime, F this, all this, yeah, you guys can say, man, come on, bro. Like, that's just you. You just the other day, man, you're like, hey, if you're interested in coming to Prime, reach out to me. Here's my driver code. All this. Dude, guys, I love Prime. I would love to say I will be here for the next 50 years. I would love to say that, but I don't know. Okay, I don't know. And Prime is a great company. They are, but they're not without flaws. Okay, and anybody coming into the industry, if you're watching somebody's videos and they're telling you that Prime is perfect, it's always going to be okay, you can always expect the same thing over and over, they're bullface lying to you. Okay, bullface lying to you. All right, there's not one single company on this planet other than you driving for yourself that's going to be 100% perfect for you. Okay, I don't care who says what. I will call them a liar to their face. There's no perfect company. You're always going to have something that you don't like about somewhere. There's always going to be something that could be done better that maybe upper management or the system in hand is not willing to comply with or change. Guys, you got to keep an open mind 100%. Exactly, man. No company's perfect. And that's something that I think that's why I've been doing kind of these like borderline topic pushing videos about this stuff. It's because I'm tired of being like, oh man, check out this great load at Prime. You guys got to come to Prime. Use driver code DEDWWE. No, I'm tired of that. I'm ready for you guys to see what's actually really going on out here on this road. I'm ready to share these experiences with you guys 100% and say, hey, look, guys, it is great today, but tomorrow, trouble could be on the horizon. Like today, trouble was on the horizon with us. We're sitting again for the second time in a month in Denver, and all's not lost. Tomorrow's a new day, and we got a lot of potential still. I mean, we're not gonna call it quits by no means. But you do have the right to know if you're looking to come into the industry, whether it's with Prime or whether it's with Swift or anybody, 100%. There you go. Go ahead and spam those codes in there. But Prime hire folks in Florida. Yes, Ray. The last trainee, Ray, was actually from Florida. He was down there near Fort Lauderdale. Yep.
No, half my class in PSD was from Florida.
Yeah. James said half his class in PSD was from Florida. So yeah. Let's see. But yeah, guys. I mean, you gotta know what you're getting into 100%. I can't stop saying that. I wish I would have paid attention. Now, me and my wife watch Junior Honduras a lot, and Junior's another one. He'll actually show Conway Truckload. He's been with Prime for 21 years. Now, that guy right there, if you guys want to know some stuff, talk to Conway. If he's been with Prime for 21 years, I guarantee you that guy's got more stories. He's forgotten more stories than I can tell you guys, I promise you. So he's probably got a lot of fantastic information. That's the guy right there you want to be talking to right there, Conway. Definitely. Thank you so much, Chris. I do appreciate you guys and your support, man, and 100%. And I'm glad to do them for you guys. I'm glad to take the time out of my day. It means a lot to me to be able to do this for you guys. And I was flatbed when Vera ran it. Yeah, and see, that's why we have flatbed, is because of Vera. And Conway, did you run for Passmore, or have you? Were you with Passmore when Prime acquired Passmore? Flatbed Trucking Company. No, he wasn't. Okay. All right. So I've known a couple drivers that were with Passmore when they acquired it. But yeah, Vera was actually Rob Lowe's mom, and she loved flatbed. So from what I'm told, that's why we have flatbed. So Conway will be able to tell you guys a little bit more, but I love flatbed, period. You know, I mean, I love Prime flatbed because this is all I've ever known. I do love it. The weather's great right now, Nevada, but we got to get missing like here pretty soon because there's a bad storm moving in across the Rockies.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got to get out of here. And the temperature is dropping like crazy. After 15 years of driving, I'm in Prime, and I'm not planning on leaving anytime soon. Matt was actually a guy that consulted with me for a long time before he came over here, and he came in with specific goals, guys. And that's why Matt is content right now. He has specific goals he wants to achieve. He's outlined those goals for his future and his family's future, and he's moving towards them. That's what it's all about, guys, is finding out if Prime's going to be able to accommodate your goals and your expectations. Okay, 100%. So, guys, much love. If you have any more questions or comments, go ahead and shoot them up real quick on the post on the live chat here. But let me see. I didn't even set the live chat. Let me see if this is all. Where's the chat at? Here it is. Live chat. All messages are visible. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Ray says, sweet, do you actually have to stay out no less than 3 to 4 months just to lease, or will 3 weeks out, 1 week home will do? It doesn't matter about the home time rate, but we'll get into a little bit more about the money as well, and money-wise. Okay, so when you're going, this is going to be it's a lot to cover, Ray, but I'm going to tell you, you can lease right out the gate. Okay, as soon as you're done with training and everything. You can't order a truck. Let me see, let's see, sweet, do you actually have to stay out no less than 3 or 4 months just to lease? Okay, I'm trying to see what your thing is. Stay out no less than, no, Ray, it's all about what you need monetarily, okay? You can stay out for 2 weeks and go home for a week. If you can afford that, then do it, 100%. Like I said, everybody's needs are different. James's needs financially every week are going to be different from my needs because I have a big family. I have a house payment, I have car payments, and yada yada. So obviously I'm going to be on the grind end a little bit more than James would have to be. Doesn't mean James ain't going to grind. It just means he's going to grind if he wants to grind. So me, I'm grinding because, you know, I got a big family to feed and they rely on me. But as far as the lease payments go, this will be a whole nother video we can do this on. There is a lease video that I have done. It's a little outdated. I've got to get another one up. But the way it works is when you go home, okay, if you don't have money in an emergency fund to cover that truck payment actually rolls over to the next week in the negative. So when you start back out, you won't start at zero. You will start as negative whatever your overhead was, your fixed cost, okay? Which usually your fixed costs are going to be roughly around $11.50 to $12.50. Depends on, like, if you have excess payments coming out for stuff or whatever. Could be a little bit higher when you first start out as well, especially flatbed. You're going to have an equipment payment and stuff like that. So all that aside, we're not talking about down to the penny numbers here. But my best advice to you is, Ray, if you're going to go home, say you're going to plan on taking 2 weeks off for Christmas, okay? We're just going to use Christmas as an example. If you're going to take 2 weeks off for Christmas, find out what your bills are going to be for Christmas, not this truck, okay? And I'm talking about if it's a regular lease, a walkaway regular lease, not an ace lease truck. Find out what your bills are for those weeks you want to take off. Put money up for those bills, okay? Don't worry about this truck payment, okay? And I'm telling you that right now. I'm just straight up, don't worry about the truck payment, okay? This isn't your truck. You're just leasing it, okay? Prime will roll the negative over. The next week, you'll be able to make it up. You might not make a baller check, but you're going to make enough to cover 2 overheads for the week. Or like, well, he took 2 weeks off last Christmas for us. Dude, I put $80 in the bank my first week out. I covered for the 2 weeks and my week that I was actually out, put $80 in the bank. Yeah, I mean, I took a hit again for the week, but I didn't have to save up a crazy amount of money for this truck payment. We had our bills covered at the house, and that's why I'm asking to make sure I keep up with that, but also enjoy home time. Exactly, Ray. But you obviously don't want to abuse it, because you go home every 2 weeks, you're going to have, basically, you're taking your overhead, your cost per mile, and you're jacking it up more. Because the longer you stay home, the more your cost per mile when you come back out is going to be, because you're not making money. You're not making revenue to pay that truck for sitting there that week. So take care of your bills at home. Find out what weeks you're going to be off. Plan ahead. Be financially sound on your end. Don't worry about Prime's end. Now, if you're in an Ace Lease truck, guys, you need to make sure that your truck payment... There it works. Sorry, guys. I've got to get off here, guys. But yeah, worry about your finance. Sorry, guys, I had a phone call. It was the wife. I gotta get out. I gotta get off here so I can actually call her. But worry about your revenue at home, guys. Don't worry about, if you're in a walkaway lease, don't worry about your revenue. I say that with the most sincerity in my heart. I'm not saying screw Prime. I'm not saying any of that. I'm telling you that it's in their best interest and their responsibility to keep this truck rolling and keep it moving when you come back out. So it's not anything malicious. It's not anything like, oh, well, that's Prime's truck, screw that. No. Worry about you. Now, when you start getting serious and you start buying trucks and you start, putting trucks in a fleet or something like that, yes, you guys have to have emergency funds set up. You got to have everything covered, everything. Because at that point, it is 100% on you. It's your truck, okay? So that's your baby. So, but as far as just going home on a walkaway lease, guys, plan ahead first for your home time, for your bills, then worry about the truck payment on the back end. So if you can do both, 100%. Drive safe, keep hustling. Always Nevada. Thanks so much, Conway. I love it too, Conway. I wish there was some things that we could alter a little bit and change up a little bit. Like I said earlier, nothing's perfect. Tavon says, you familiar with the tanker division? Does it pay more? Tavon, to be honest with you, from what I can understand, I've only been in flatbed, but Tavon, I can go and tell you this: it all evens out in the wash. And the number one thing I can tell you, Prime controls those rates, controls the loads that we see, the loads that we have. So it's all going to even out, okay? And that's just the God's honest truth about it, 100%. Listen to Conway. He's been here 21 years. He'll tell you. They still having problems getting tractors in. Michael, yes, they are. We're still having some issues. We've got some manufacturing stuff going on. I'm hoping to actually do a leasing video with hopefully Stuart from Leasing, and or maybe Maddie or somebody from Leasing or Dana, and getting some good information for you guys on the leasing side of things. So Prime has, in my opinion, Prime has one of the best lease to own options like out here. I mean, 100%. We've looked at a lot of them, but as far as like just straight walk in, as soon as you upgrade, you can get in a lease truck. In 3 months, you can order a brand new one with anything you want on it. And after a year, you can order one that have your payments for all your extras taken out on 10 weeks. I mean, there's a lot of different options that are actually a benefit to being a lease op over here. So 100%. It's not all bad, guys. Don't think that at all. 3 months for the Freightliner to come in. So Conway's saying you got 3 months now. So definitely, you guys can also call, even if you're not at Prime, you guys can actually reach out to Success Leasing. There's always a link in the description of the video. Reach out to them and then actually ask some questions to them too, because they'll be more than happy to talk to you guys, 100%. So guys, I gotta get out of here. I got the wife calling me. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, on the merch, everybody was pretty overwhelmingly like positive on the merch. Everybody still wants to have merch, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. Wife's already in the design mode for designing the BigWheelZ Freight Skaters hats and everything. So yeah, we've got that in the works, guys. And as soon as I get an actual date, when we get the design finalized and the date we can get some of the merch in, I will definitely get you guys the dates, the pricings on everything and everything. So I'm pretty excited about that. The BigWheelZ. And if you guys have any ideas, wife was asking me too. The slogan I wanted to use was Big Wheels, all big wheels matter, and then have Freight Skater somewhere on the sleeve or on the bill of the hat, like beside. But same thing with the hoodie. Maybe Freight Skater on the hood, and then Big Wheels on the front, and all big wheels matter on the back. If you guys like that, I'll put out a poll as well too, guys, and get you guys, because I would really love to have you guys' opinion. if you got a slogan or something that you think would be, and I want it to be like family appropriate. I don't want it to be like, flatbedders, nothing's better than getting our load off and all this crap. I don't want any of that stuff. I want it to be like family friendly. So if you guys can think of a slogan or something that you'd like to see on a t-shirt or something, we can do multiple ones. We can do multiple slogans or whatever. Ultimately it will be BigWheelZ, and it will have the Freight Skater tag on it. So if you guys are into that, I think that would be fantastic. So I'm really excited to bring that out to you guys. It got me excited yesterday hearing you guys. Let's see here. Skateboarding never dies. No, man, it's a tried and true classic. So guys, much love. Thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. I said I was going to do 10 minutes. It turned into 85 minutes. So I don't know why this always happens, but from board to set deck. Exactly. But guys, thank you so much. I look forward to your comments in the video. Please share the video, guys. I feel like there was a lot of good information in this one tonight. And anybody that's interested in going to Prime, guys, if you hear about them, give them the video. Let them look at it. So, Matt, I'll give you a call. Let me call the wife first, brother. No problem. And much love. Stay safe. God bless. Keep the rubber side down, shiny side up. James, Freight Skater, out.